Hello everyone and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're checking out Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet, one of my favorites off the Xbox Live Arcade. Even though it came out a couple of years ago, it also got ported fairly, well, semi-recently to Steam and PC, I should say. And I just really thought this one was worth checking out. The art style of it is absolutely beautiful, and it's a game that I spent quite a few hours on. I actually believe I 100%ed it on the Xbox Live version. So I thought, hey, why not? We'll share it together. We'll have a look at the beginning. Maybe I can give you at least a sense of the art style and why this is definitely a game you should have if you don't already. And it does support autosave. The one thing that really bothers me is the fact that it is now sort of pushed under this Games for Windows Live moniker, which just really bugs me. I mean, it doesn't really make a game better in any appreciable way when it has that kind of a DRM on it. It actually kind of holds it back in a few ways for me anyway. It also doesn't help much that every time you restart the game, it loses the resolution and audio settings. I don't know what the deal is with that. Anyway, so there are our settings. I'll actually put the brightness up a little bit higher than normal, considering YouTube tends to make everything extra dark. And I am playing this with an Xbox 360 controller, as I usually am. There's a quick how to play, because I haven't actually talked about this at all. You play as a little spaceship guy who is stranded on this insanely twisted shadow planet, hence the title. So basically, we're going to be meandering around looking for parts to our spaceship to improve ourselves. We're going to be solving a few puzzles, and it has a little bit of a metroidvania element to it, as well as just a really awesome atmosphere in general. The art, the music, everything about it is absolutely beautiful in terms of ambience, and it's just a game that I really absolutely would love to share with you guys. I know this probably doesn't make any sense, but it will make sense once you get some power-ups and such. So anyway, let's just jump into the game, because all of this stuff isn't going to mean a thing. There are a few other game modes than the standard campaign. I never really messed around with them, even in the other versions, so let's just do the campaign. New game, and I believe there's a little cutscene at the beginning. This is my first time playing the PC version, by the way. So as I'm sure you picked up on, that little cluster of nastiness made its way into that sun, exploded, and shot corruption all over the nearby neighboring planets, one of whom we happen to be on. So we control that little Meteos-looking alien, and we're going to be equipping ourselves inside of the spaceship and doing a little bit of exploration now. So we'll press right bumper to look through our equip menu. It's sort of like one of those little rings from Secret of Mana or something. So yeah, we've held that. We can press right stick to select. That is our scanner module, and right trigger, and then aim. There we go. So we're getting calibrated, we're getting in order. We're going to be taking off for our mothership shortly. We've unlocked a thing, and we're going to go where we can go. Where can we go? Let's activate this. Unlock, unlock. And out we go. I've have just an undying interest in things like this, the way that they framed this whole thing. It's a shadow planet. I mean, it's sort of like a Lovecraftian, horrible horror thing, the scale of which doesn't even really make sense. I mean, why would there be these abominable evil presences out in the universe? Well, because it's the universe and, you know, entropy. Everything's crazy out there. Who knows what could happen? So I like playing around with these concepts where you just absolutely have no clue what it is that the world might see. So there's already a ton of ambience going on here. We've got fellow spaceship riders, we've got some sort of drakes in the background, or birds, undulating hills of spiky death, some sort of pine trees that have fallen, and we can just take a little look through what's going on over here. So some hills coated in this nasty stuff. It's like this crusty, shadowy grossness. And we're making our way down into this fungi area where there is steam being expelled. Probably want to wait for the moment to pass that doesn't hit me. And see what's down here. It looks like we've got a very strong air current that we can't actually pass through. There are a number of different worlds that we're actually going to enter, sort of like in Super Metroid, where you might remember there are places, you know, like Brinstar, Criteria, Torain, like all of those different areas have a totally different and unique visual theme, and this is very much the same case. And we can't actually progress to most of those areas until we've got the proper tools to do so. So for now, it's all about exploration, bumping into weird things, and seeing what happens when we play with them, which I really like. There's this physics element to everything where we can bump into these and they actually react. But I actually missed my stop when I was going around that air current. Thankfully, our ship is pretty durable, doesn't smash too easily. But there are plenty of things out there trying to kill it, so, you know, take that with a grain of salt. For now, environmental hazards are not especially dangerous, but there are plenty of other things that we will discover very shortly. Alright, so here we go. What have we got now? There's a field, which I guess is just going to save for us, and this would be a thing that we need. What is this? Let's pick it up! Alright, we can now assign hotkeys to tools at any time. Good to know. And we can now put this on A, because it is going to be our laser, which we can use to knock some of these nasty tentacles out of the way. Destination has been updated. Let's press back for map. And now you can see the things we've mapped out. Let's, can we zoom out? There we go. Alright, so there you go. That is the viewpoint that we're going to be looking into exploring. All those different worlds are already semi-available to see right from the get-go, but as you can tell, there is a pretty big difference between the level of granularity on the map here versus all of these unexplored sectors here, and there is actually a pretty comprehensive guide system to the fact that, you know, it's telling you if we go too far away, it's going to urge us to go back up here where this big red nodule is telling us that's our destination. So obviously, since we've just unlocked this blaster, we can now proceed through this point, which is actually pretty clearly marked. So when in doubt, you can just do a little bit of exploring, and you shouldn't be too far away from your next landmark or, you know, some sort of a pointer in the right direction. So I just wanted to explore the rest of that map. It is now completely revealed. Let us head back down and in to the insanely twisted shadow planet, because of course, why would you just want to skirt around on the top when you can go all the way inside of it and see what kind of monstrosities await? For the most part, the planet isn't quite as malevolent as I would have expected, but I really like the fact that it is sort of passively malevolent. There are times when it is very actively so as well, but, you know, for now anyway, things are just sort of around. I believe these are life points. We will get some of those later. It's been over a year, maybe 2 years since I've actually played this, so I don't remember a lot of the specific details anymore. But I just remember loving every minute of it and wishing it didn't end as soon as it did. I think I got something like 4 to 6 hours out of my first playthrough, which is not the longest game in the world, but at the same time, it's not the shortest either, and the game certainly makes up for it in art and super polished presentation. And it's not one of those games where, to 100% it, you're going to have to spend like 20 or 30 hours looking for every detail. And for the most part, if you're fairly meticulous, at least as I was, you probably will get like 70 to 80% of the pickups on your first run through without trying extra hard, and then you'll go back, spend another couple of hours, and pick up all the missing stuff. I don't remember there being too many puzzles that were also, you know, super mind-bending. This isn't Fez in terms of depth. You know, it's fairly on the surface. What you see is what you get. But at the same time... Oh, well, we've got something. We've got a little grabber arm. But at the same time, you know, there are enough details to it that keep this super interesting regardless. And the fact that I can now manipulate using physics all of these little details is a really nice touch. We can actually grab this and use our right analog stick to steer it around, smash stuff into other stuff. I don't know how helpful that's going to be, but we can do it nonetheless. And we can, of course, equip different tools to different hotkeys. I'll put this on B for now. So when I press A, immediately back to my blaster. I don't think there's a whole lot I can do other than slide this over, so we're going to do that. See if I can grab this. No, not really. I should probably go back to my blaster because I have a feeling I'm going to be doing a bit of that. Take out this little nodule that's going to be spawning enemy whatever's spores, I guess. Some life right there, and as you slide that, you'll notice it not only opens up this path forward, but it also closes this path, so this guy can't come back and bother us again, which is kind of nice. They do actually do some plays on the gameplay mechanics as you get further into the game, which is always a pretty cool thing. When you start to feel like things have gotten somewhat complacent, you know, they get mixed up fairly regularly, and the art style consistently gets cooler looking as you go. And by the end, things are absolutely just behemoth in scale and absolutely stunning. Right now, things are still just getting started. There's not a whole lot to see, but it does just keep getting better. I believe I just have to outrun this. Shouldn't be that hard. And you'll see my ship does take cosmetic damage as it takes more and more hits. Right now, we are definitely in a pretty bad position, but thankfully, that save point actually saves me in terms of damage as well. So we can hit select here, or back, depending on your preferences, and we can tell that that is the way down to the next area, and I also passed up this little area down here on the bottom. I believe it was covered over, but we can always backtrack later and check out some stuff, see if we missed anything. And like I said, there is a bit of backtracking to do once you're done with the game. Too foggy over there to progress. Let's head on over to the right. Again, noting the beautiful backdrops and how smooth and polished everything looks. Everything is this lovely, smoothly animated vector quality to it, and since it's mostly in silhouette, it does leave a little bit to the imagination, which is kind of good. It actually lets you imagine how horrible and horrific some of these things could be. So we'll progress downward through all of these freaking tentacles. There's so many. And what is this down here? Should I go in it? Of course I should. Can I grab it? Let's try and grab it. Yeah! Pull that jewel free and you can see close up. My ship looks like it's made out of veins or something. Alright, so I've got an achievement by completing the homeworld. This is not necessarily indicative of how long each area tends to be. I believe they're all going to be a bit longer than that. This is just like the tutorial zone. And we are immediately transported to Big Purple area here, which is actually a little intimidating. The scope of it is certainly a lot bigger than this one. There's a lot of progression to do here, and I believe we don't get our new power-ups or weapons to progress quite as quickly as we did in that first area. Those first two tools will serve us pretty well, and we do want to head towards this red marker on the map. I will do just a little bit of that, but I will also say that we're probably going to wrap things up fairly briefly or fairly soon, because right now, I think I do want to leave a lot of the mystery to you guys. The exploration is really the strength of this game, and like I said, there's plenty of that to do. So, I mean, hopefully you got a pretty decent idea of what the art style is like, what the general progression scheme is like, the gameplay mechanics. They're not really very alienating or scary. I mean, it just seems like one of those types of games that if you don't know what it is, just based on the name, you might not have a clue of what to expect when you start playing this, but this is what you expect. Beautiful particulate matter, all kinds of crazy shadowiness, whatever you want to call these guys, ambient life forms, and a completely exotic and strange-looking interesting world to explore, I think, is really the takeaway message from this game. It's all about the ambience and a little bit of puzzle solving as well. I don't know what this guy is, but I'm going to grab him. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to stuff him into one of these little wind sucker worms, and I believe it'll make more of them somewhere, and I just have to keep finding these guys and throwing them in there. Yeah, okay, that's what the puzzle is. So there's a little bit of, you know, physics puzzling as well as the occasional boss fight or general like dexterity check, whether or not you have the abilities to actually accurately make it out of an area without, taking too much damage. Your ship is not particularly durable at the beginning, but it gets a little better as things go along. And that guy also, I could have opened up his area. Appears that I'm missing one of the little turtley guys. He'll be around somewhere, though. Can't grab those. Oh, well, they're very angry. Let's not bother them. The art in this is just so stunning. I just absolutely love the ambience that's created. I guess this guy comes back. Oh, wells. And there we go. Feed that to him. Switch back to laser, and I believe there should be a checkpoint right afterward. Yeah, they're pretty generous with the checkpoints. I don't feel like I generally was ever too frustrated by getting hit a lot. And I'm also super weak. You can actually, I believe, upgrade your laser and such. Most of the weapons take a few upgrades. And it does definitely make you a little bit more formidable as things progress. These guys, I feel, track me and try to explode or something, and they also dodge pretty well. So we want to definitely try and take those out. I mean, look at how vibrant the colors are here. Everything is this, like, lavender in the background and a bright crimson in the foreground. And these nodules will keep coming back until they just leave, so no reason to continue to fight them over and over again. There's a little bit of maybe like a Tim Burton-esque quality to this as well, which I have no problem with, but I don't think it's overt. And I'm not sure that everyone will even make that connection, but, for the most part, I have no problem with it regardless. Concept art, always a nice thing to unlock. And I think, this will probably do it. This is a pretty nice little taste of what to expect out of Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet. Highly, highly recommended. I have nearly no negative things to say about it, and if I had to stretch for one, I would say probably just the fact that it is super short in terms of how long I wish it was. It's not actually super short. Like I said, it's like 4 to 6 hours-ish. Depending on your abilities and skill to get through the game. But I just wish there was more, because I absolutely loved looking at it and playing through it, and the sense of exploration in this environment is just absolutely what I love and crave about video games. The sense of wonder is beautiful, so that will pretty much do it. We did just get an upgrade for our scanner, which is something I haven't really been doing. Or was that upgrade for our laser? I'm sorry. Scanner is... which one is the scanner? Scanner is this guy, which is fairly obvious to tell. And that actually tells us weak points and stuff, so if we're having trouble fighting an enemy, we can actually use that. And it even tells us, I believe, what hotkey to hit if we want to activate that weapon, so... Anyway, I keep trying to almost end the episode, and then I keep playing, because that is exactly the type of quality this game has. It sucks you in, and I think when I played this, I probably finished the whole game in like 1 or 2 sittings, because I just didn't want to stop. You keep unlocking more and more of the map, and before you know it, a whole bunch of time has passed, so it's really handy, too, that you can still see the blocks that you haven't explored. I mean, this is like the closest thing to a Super Metroid map that I've seen in a while, and I believe it's perfectly well done, and there are actually little points there to look for as well. So yeah, we're going to actually end the episode now for realsies. So if you want to go check out Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet, there will be a purchase link for it right in the description. Highly, highly recommended. And yeah, I'd love to hear your feedback on this one. You're probably noticing a pretty daunting looking guy down here. He is exactly what you would expect out of him, but we're not going to hang out too much. But yeah, if they do the usual closing plugs, we'll do indie-impressions.com if you want to check out more episodes in the series. There are over 400 of them now, and still increasing by the day, so please do visit the site. We've got forums over there. I do occasional contests and game giveaways. You can earn pixels by commenting on videos over on the site, which you can then redeem towards games, so there are actually some incentives to doing that. Also got facebook.com/indieimpressions, so if you want to go over there, leave a like on it. It just takes a second, and that actually helps me out, and then you can get every day's new video delivered into your Facebook stream, as well as just keep up on what's going on with the channel. I do channel updates and contests there as well. I've also got a Twitter handle, which is @RockLeeSmile, if you want to stop by and give a visit. Just takes a second, maybe follow if you like. Totally up to you, but I do banter on Twitter quite a bit, and it's the quickest way to get a hold of me, other than if you want to just send me an email, which you can do at the contact form right on the website, indie-impressions.com. Of course, all my social media links are right in the description of this video, so if you missed anything, feel free to go click around down there, see what you can find, as I just continuously keep scanning all the stuff I can find in the atmosphere and the ambient landscape here. But that is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave me your comments. I'd love to hear your opinions on Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet. And I will see you next time. Please be sure to come back again tomorrow. I do a new video every single day. So I will see you then. Have a good night.